Hello, it is Friday. Cindy, we are on. We're live. No one, we didn't know, but we're live. We're live. Okay.
All right.
We start again. 3, 2, 1. Everybody in action. Okay. It's Friday night, so you know you might not learn much. We will try to tell you something informative before the end of the show. It is not guaranteed, but we will laugh a lot. Yes, we will. The hashtag is TTTT, and my name is Amina Abdirabah. My panelists, Jugush, we have Cindy, and we have Mata. They're going to be telling us about some of the stories that police have decided to take flights to curb illicit brew. Find out why. The Money Heist series has finally come to reality. Thugs amassing. This one. Now, they pretended to be police officers. They stole millions of shillings. I don't understand how. We talk about it in a bit. One of the darkest weeks in Africa. South Africans have gone rogue on fellow Africans. Stick around for more of this. A cheeky man goes after a selfie with a reporter. Call it seizing the opportunity while it presents itself. All right, so now I think I should throw it to these guys, by the way.
Hi.
That selfie. No, the selfie that
Oh, right.
You know, there's sometimes that people ask for selfies at very... To these guys, by the way.
Hi.
That selfie. No, the selfie that
Oh, right.
You know, there's sometimes that people ask for selfies at very odd
Inopportune times when you're your kids at the supermarket.
No. Like now today, when I was waiting for my father's radiology report. Wow. And we are just praying.
But
Trying.
wait, praying.
Yes, because we're at the hospital.
Inopportune times when you're your kids at the supermarket.
No. Like now today, when I was waiting for my father's radiology report. Wow. And we are just huddled in a group praying.
But
Trying.
wait, praying.
Yes, because we're at the hospital. We're just
Right.
like, okay, so what will the report say? How will it be?
Yeah.
Someone's just like, I was squeeze. It be?
Yeah.
Someone's just like, I was squeeze for. Sit with your picture.
Are you serious?
So did you say yes?
Yes, I just took a picture. What were they going to do? We were going, and I'm sit with your picture.
Are you serious?
So did you say yes?
Yes, I just took a picture. What were they going to do? We were going, and I'm praying.
Yeah.
And you know very well, I need a lot of prayer because, God is
Well,
like,
It's a tricky situation.
During that
Right.
moment, you need those prayers. The last thing you want is a curse from somebody saying,
God is
Well,
like,
It's a tricky situation.
okay.
During that
Right.
moment, you need those prayers. The last thing you want is a curse from somebody saying, Amina nakwanga jara penage kupiga selfie.
Thank you. That's why I took it. Anyway, hashtag TTTT. A lot did happen this week. This one, of course, coming up after we hear Anna's Doro about Nyama. I see Njugush.
Selfie.
Thank you. That's why I took it. Anyway, hashtag TTTT. A lot did happen this week. This one, of course, coming up after we hear Anna's Doro about Nyama. I see Njugush, this one. It really moved him personally, as it did. Now, viewer discretion is advised to any one of you watching this right now. And happened to California. It really moved him personally, as it did. Now, viewer discretion is advised to any one of you watching this right now. And happened to California recently. Now, ulikula nyama. So now this is after a California beef processing and packaging company announced a recall of approximately 25,000 pounds of beef. That's close to like that's
25,000 pounds.
That's
Like-
Bama market.
so you ordered two.
1,000 pounds.
That's
Like-
Bama market.
So you ordered two. Tupatieni sasa.
Yeah, that's a lot
Sasa
of.
recall, when you have a recall na party shafanyika, watu wanaenda home.
Yeah, that's a lot
Sasa
of.
recall, when you have a recall na party shafanyika, watu wanaenda home. Watu washapika nyama mnaenda home.
Yeah.
But I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay because sisi yenye tunaku nashuku inakuwaga inafaa kurikoliwa. But sisi tuko tu sawa.
Yeah.
But I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay because sisi yenye tunakula na shuku inakuwaga inafaa kurikoliwa. But sisi tuko tu sawa.
Metabal sulfite. How long have we kulad that nyama before the expose? We tulikula metabal sulfite. Bado tuko tu by the way.
But notice there's a difference between how it was done in the US and how it would have been done in Kenya.
Yes.
Kenya ingekanyagiwa. Inyamaziwe. Na wanajua vizuri wameweka ng'ombe ya anthrax hapo.
I think for me, every single time, what really pisses me off is they find out with everyone else.
You kulad that nyama before the expose. We tulikula metabal sulfite. Bado tuko tu by the way.
But notice there's a difference between how it was done in the US and how it would have been done in Kenya.
Yes.
Kenya ingekanyagiwa. Inyamaziwe. Na wanajua vizuri wameweka ng'ombe ya anthrax hapo.
I think for me, every single time, what really pisses me off is they find out with everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, we also just we were shocked. No, no. You were just incompetent.
But
Yeah.
ile story ya mahindi walijua
And we were gobsmacked. We were shocked. No. You were just incompetent.
Yeah.
Ile story ya mahindi walijua zikawachiliwa, alafu unajua kitu musema ni mzuri. Hata wewe utakula ugali, tutakufa sisi wote.
Yes. Bas. At the end of the day, that's how we think as Kenyans. Sindio? Kwanza as Kenyans are like
Achiliwa, alafu unajua kitu musema ni mzuri. Hata wewe utakula ugali, tutakufa sisi wote.
yes. Bas. At the end of the day, that's how we think as Kenyans. Sindio? Kwanza as Kenyans are like hata hii nyama si tutauliwa tu na gari, tutakanyagwa tu na gari siku moja.
Something must kill a man.
And you're like, Jesus, you know your meat has like bacteria, fungi, algae, everything. Tutauliwa tu na gari, tutakanyagwa tu na gari siku moja.
Something must kill a man.
And you're like, Jesus, you know your meat has like bacteria, fungi, algae, everything. In Kenya, we do not have...
Umeconfuse Njugusha hapo kidogo. Mwambie algae ni nini. Yeye anajua algae.
Anajua
algae.
In this Kenya, it's very possible.
Yeah, but sisi, I think the way we are made, the way we are made, the way we are made.
What?
The way we are made.
Kwani Timon was the last time we saw?
Wacha, nini?
Excuse me.
Like, seriously.
Hiyo ni nyama ya
Are you
sodium
taking
by
supplements?
sulfate, please.
Zinaitwa ni vizuri watu waone.
Aya.
Anyway, we're talking about nyama. The way we are made, I think sisi, we've been through a lot.
Eric Omondi has hope. This is wonderful. This is groundbreaking. This is like we
ni nyama
interrupt
tunakula.
normal programming.
Nyama gani na kula Njugusha? Because, you know, tanguolewa siku hizi kuna vaina, yeah?
Last time alikuja tukamwambia we are proud of him.
Yes.
We are proud of him.
Sawa, Mungu anasaidia. But anyway, tuko kwa nyama.
Nyama.
Tuko kwa nyama. But honestly speaking, I think we've been through much. Mpaka sisi hatutingikagi. Ikikuja mahindi tuko sawa. Ikikuja nyama tuko sawa. Tutingikagi.
Tuko sawa, like tumeshindwa so far because inakuja after the fact, ndio tuna discover, tuna find out after the fact. US wamejua before
and they did something about it, but for us, after we've drank mercury, we've eaten sujui what, that's when they're like, so reports, and you're like, ha ha.
You know, and they usually say things like for the past 3 years.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
how?
I have a 2-year-old.
What's up? Mercury caught your tongue?
You're like, I can't believe this. No, because when they tell you it's been 3 years, then you start wondering, oh my gosh, how are you finding out after so long?
All the sugar
how
taken
much
in
of
your
that
tea,
have
the cakes, the cookies.
You know, you think about it. It
Right.
really starts worrying you, and it really does concern you. Anyway, now we've seen all the dramatic arrests that come with, you know, all those, you know, illicit views. And,
Yes.
you know, it's almost like a movie by itself. Just wakikimbia, yo nini kimwagwa, pwa. You know, it's always just, anakuja wa, it's so dramatic. And now, things are changing, people. Things are changing. Take a look.
Pilot hapa anarusha hii ikiwa na hii kamera ambayo you can adjust, you can tilt, you can twist, you can turn. Inaenda 10 km. Kwa hii story wako na license ya Kenya Civil Aviation Authority.
Yes, to use drones.
Wako na license kwa sababu sisi wana sinema tumesumbuliwa kuweza kutumia drones
kutengeneza sinema ambazo haziumizi watu. Lakini hizi drones ambazo zitaumiza watu na mafamilia zao na biashara ambayo pia ni illegal bado wanakubaliwa kutumia. What changed where? What's happening? Because we want to make a livelihood using these drones to shoot our movies. Now, the police officers want to arrest culprits.
So it's okay for the police officers, but it's not okay for you.
Maybe even they want to shoot people. Maybe walisikia kuna shoot mahali wakaona. Maybe they want to shoot people. But I think cannot work. Twende Central. Tusaki kusema maybe ni Central. And then
with the drones. One drone is equals to 6.2 million. So we need 15.
What if it's a Chinese?
No, mi na suspect ni zile zenye wanasinema hunyang'anywa airport wakati wameimport wamekuja nazo alafu wanaambiwa hii ni illegal. Mi niko na uchungu mazee, mi nikubalieni niseme ukweli yangu yote.
But can we fly one around parliament alafu we pite
person who call your person.
Let's take a short break. He was like, I mean, at that time. And welcome back. You are watching TTTT. Usually when we do the show on this side, I feel like we're just completely outside. All right, so now please do hit us up and tell us what you're thinking on Twitter regarding any story that we had on the show, plus any that's coming up in a minute. We talk about the very shocking story of, what's coming out of South Africa, the condemned xenophobic attacks. We're going to be talking about that. Now, at The Trend Live is how you can get us on Twitter. I'm hoping I could get you a decoder. That would have been great. It really would have been. And which decoder am I talking about? DSTV. But you know what? You could also just download the app, DSTV now. Why? Because you get a chance to enjoy absolutely everything from entertainment to sports to news to... There's this channel called TLC. I don't know if you guys have ever watched it. Yani, it has like the most bizarre, everything, the baking channels as well. You know, the Food Network taught me how to pretty much cook, so my husband can thank them, send them an email, say thanks. My son watches Blazing the Monster Machine, so we're always living on Cartoon Network. And you people, I can't believe that.
hajaanza kuona,
Okay.
but, but a lot of cartoons, because even, na nafurahia hapo. Unajua mimi wakati wangu sikuona, so kautoto kanaingia hapo lakini.
That shocked the entire world. South Africans attacking Nigerians. And then more so just in general, foreigners, and what I think has been deemed as one of the worst xenophobic attacks in recent history. This, I think, and it got everyone, we were so shocked. And, just seeing the videos now of the Nigerians and of the other, just foreign nationals talking about, we're going to go home, we're going to go back to our country, seeing Tiwa Savage saying she's canceling her performance, seeing offices being shut down in Lagos, Nigeria, because of that, South African offices being told you have 7 days to vacate. I mean, Cindy, what do you make of this?
My point of view is very controversial in the sense that, first of all, total condemnation to the xenophobic attacks. Total condemnation to guys who share those videos on WhatsApp without telling you. We were just talking about it off air with Mato and Jugosh. Very graphic videos, just really, really horrifying. However, I found it very interesting from a Kenyan point of view. There's always a butterfly effect, right? This is affecting us internationally. And, we are reacting from an international point of view. But locally, I find it very hypocritical. The same people who are okay with certain people, tribal attacks during elections are like, yes, you deserve this. Oh, yes, you deserve that. Who are okay with tribal attacks are now all of a sudden so self-righteous talking about xenophobic attacks in South Africa. What is happening in South Africa is terrible, and I condemn it in the strongest terms possible, but what happens in Kenya is even worse. So I don't think we are any better, and I don't think we should start riding our high horse and be like, shame on you, South Africa, shame on us, because we don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. Here's a fun fact. There are people who, in 2 years, will have to migrate from where they're from because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know the leaflets that they're going to get in their houses telling them, you need to live here, you're not wanted, go back to where you come from. How is that any different? So I think it's still happening here in Kenya, and we should also look introspectively at our situation before we go condemning what's happening in South Africa.
So like she said, we were discussing it, so we were leaving it to her to say this. We were discussing it.
No, I said my point of view is very controversial.
No, there is truth in that, truly. And it's sad, it's bad. Actually, I don't even know what more to say. You've actually summed it up.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, man, I wonder, because all this is about hate. All we're talking about, be it racism, xenophobia, ASEA,
Tribalism.
all that is hate. Is you don't love, because if I loved me as a human being, I wouldn't stand and watch someone burn as they walk away.
Exactly.
And you're just looking, even if they're not from where you come from.
Right.
So I think that hatred, I don't know what's going to happen to us, because even animals, they are better. They are better. They are better in terms of how they behave, how they protect their own, because they know we are one at the end of the day. So I think that hate, from wherever it comes from, we need
It's
to find
anger. There's a lot of anger.
to find, but you know, you can be angry, but if you have love in yourself, it cannot drive you to do such things. You know, where you're killing someone
I get what
without.
you're saying. You're like, maybe try policies, or maybe something. I don't know something that has
I don't know what's
going to
happen to us. Just the
I
same
get what
way.
you're saying, you're just like-
Just the same way we have a lot of issues. I don't know what form of preaching that's gonna work, where we should, because everything starts with love.
No, I think Macho's right. People are just are very, very angry.
So when I'm angry, you're directing it to the wrong people, because
We're
those
not
are not the
saying
right
it's
people.
the right thing.
Because
Yeah.
if we are
You're just
angry
saying
here,
they're angry. Timo,
yeah,
wait,
if
sorry,
we are
please.
angry here and I'm angry, if we are angry, should I come and kill you and beat you up and tell you to?
It's absolutely not
There's
right.
something I should do, right?
It's absolutely not
They-
right. But
exactly.
we should also ask ourselves why people are angry. There was the Truth and Justice Reconciliation Commission that was formed years ago. See, as Kenyans, we keep forgetting. Whenever there is post-election violence, we all, let's pray for peace. Let's pray for peace. We sweep things under the rug, but we don't sit down and say, okay, why is this community killing this community?
Exactly.
The same thing needs to happen in South Africa.
Yes.
The situation needs to be dealt with from the grassroots, because it will stem again.
It's not the first time.
And it won't be the
right
last.
now, it's not the first time.
But also from the grassroots. But also it's important to look at the tier, at the top tier,
Right.
because when someone in charge of is saying, why do we find a lot of bigger percentage of foreigners in X country? And that's what happens to us. Someone says, this is our county.
Yes.
ABCD. So as
Yeah.
much
You
as we
can't
are
work
coming
in
from
this
grassroots,
county if you are
exactly.
not born here.
As much as we are looking at the grassroots, can we also look up there? Because for example, what
Yeah.
I think is, when I see Cindy, I don't look at where 2022 she's gonna be leaning on. Yeah? I don't
Yeah.
look at that. What I look is, Cindy is awesome, is amazing. We come, tunachapa kitu, tunaenda home. But then
Yeah.
Unaenda
there's some
kwako, anaenda kwake.
ideologies.
Yeah?
There's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
ideologies up there that make us change. Now sasa tuna
All of a
eh,
sudden, sasa
amos.
unaona tena, you're like, okay, wait
And
a
it's very
bit.
easy tukipatana nawe kwa matatu, ukaa hapa. Uko mnapiga story mnaenda poa.
That's true.
But when someone up there, at the end of the day, watakuwa different, then watakuja wapige handshake, they're gonna be together,
is
they
so
give each
true.
other business, na nyinyi mnapigana. That's why nasema, as much as tunaangalia huku chini na huku, hata sisi
Pia tuangalie.
Yeah, hata sisi
Tujiangalie.
kidogo, si ndio? And that's why, and a lot of, we see so many people who constantly just flee, from that violence and that persecution. And that's why, with UNHCR coming up with a walk called Step for Safety, shout out to them. I'm going to be there hosting on Sunday. It's a charity event. Please come, register, and just walk and, help all of those people who have to leave their homes because of that violence. All right, so now, us as Kenyans, just on to more amazing headlines that we make. As always, we apparently.
Let's lighten it.
All right.
That
Are you
went
ready?
south, man.
Are you ready? Are you ready? We are
It's
doing
Africa.
well.
Oh.
We are number one. We are number one. We are number one.
Aya, sema.
We
Nigeni
are
na
the
kab-
most careless when it comes to the internet. Wanasema ya kwamba katika ripoti moja ambayo imereleasiwa Wednesday, inakuanga inaitwa lini? Inaitwa Wednesday? We don't even know what. Wow. And it's now on Wednesday by the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Now, only 4 in every 10 internet users in Kenya are concerned about any of their privacy, any of their information. They're just like chukua, DNA, everything. Just it's all right. So they're very like it's the lowest in the entire world, making us the most vulnerable citizens in the world to cyber attacks.
Kwanza kabisa hapo nitakubali ni ukweli. Kuna watu tunajua hadi chassis number ya gari yao. Kwa sababu wana overexpose. But then again, I think it's because of lack of like deliberate sensitization on internet use in Kenya. The internet came, Kenyans on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, watu wakaona this is a playing field, wacha tujibambe. People started making money from it, tujibambe zaidi.
Everybody is a
Like,
reality
yeah,
show. We're like,
yeah,
come into
yeah,
our
yeah.
lives. Here, take.
You know,
Welcome to our channel.
it just needs to be very deliberate. I'm not saying that it's the government that should take this up, but at least the individuals who are in that space
Yes.
needs to actually be very cautious.
Okay, Martin, you're sounding like you're very cautious, right? So let me ask you this: every time you register, like when you open up you buy a new phone, you're there, you're like agreeing to the terms. Do you read through anything, or you just go scroll all the way to the bottom?
Accept cookies.
Thanks.
Actually, do not accept cookies. That's one of the things I do not accept.
No,
I
but
don't accept cookies.
but listen, a lot of people just agree, and they're like, yes, next.
Yes,
Okay,
most people do agree.
accepted, agree.
And I'm saying this confidently because I have sort of a tech mind in my previous life. So I will not read all terms and conditions. There are companies that I know. Like when we had the Face app.
Oh yes, everybody was
Sorry.
up in that Face app.
Was
Right.
up in the, okay.
Everybody was up.
Was
in
that
the,
intentional
Yeah,
or
yeah.
it just happened?
No, just continue.
Okay, listen,
Forget
focus,
about
hello,
me.
hello.
All right, okay. So we need to be very, very deliberate as far as, and it's not really about the terms and conditions, sana. It's also what you put out and what you allow your machine, or rather the app or the website to access on your laptop, for example,
Right.
or on your phone.
But
What about public Wi-Fi? Especially, I think that's one thing that we're very lax. You go to a restaurant, you go to a pub, Wi-Fi is free. You just, log in. You don't know who's accessing your information. Your kids, you go to the shopping mall, they're bored. Mom, give me the Wi-Fi password. You're given, and they have access to. So it's true, we are very lax. Although I want to throw a spanner in the works in this story and ask, what about taking pictures of our kids? Is that also sort of exposing them to any kind of cybercrime?
So let's respond to that when we get back. Why
Exactly.
don't we? Hashtag TTTT. And welcome back to TTTT. Cindy, when I say welcome back, I say welcome back, and they're just like, guys are not going to take us seriously. People.
We have content, and
All
we
right.
have to, discuss this
Thanks.
content.
Yes. Ndo our represent.
Exactly.
I get it. I
Yes.
get it. Watu wengi wanauliza Cindy anaenda wapi after hii. Do you care to respond?
Oh, well,
Hey.
Friday night, pesa bado iko kwa bank.
All right. Okay.
We'll see.
Wewe
Kama
yako bado iko kwa
midnight.
bank.
I know. I was like,
Kwani leo si tarehe 6?
Ajay. Okay, so real quick, Tibo, Drugush, sorry.
Yeah, aka Timo, aka Cute Boy. Now, we're at cyber career, being careful with the
Cybercrime.
internet. There's also something else I want to ask about these loans we are getting online. Yeah.
Yeah.
You download an app. They ask you, who is your mother? Can you give me 2 contacts? Where do you live? GPRS. I don't know if that sums as, because I don't know if there are Sharia that is in a govern that particular space. Because kuna ingine unaona mpaka unaitishwa ID, unaambiwa upige picha hivi, upige picha hivi. So those guys have full details. Macho ni
Baby
kala
picture,
gani.
teenage,
Yeah. So there's
everything.
that. So I think, one, it's a beautiful thing that we are talking about internet to start with, because we're talking about internet. That means a lot of people are co-op, which is a beautiful thing. But now it's a space that also needs some rules to be regulated. Like, for example, she asked about putting our kids out there. And it's something that, like, let's say, for example, I have 100 people and my page is private. I control the people who are seeing that.
Yes.
So if I post, it's like when I'm living in a neighborhood, you don't hide your kids, do you? Atika hapa, you feature uso asionekane. But when you feel like you are somewhere you cannot guarantee the security of that kid, you'll be hesitant to do that. Thus, utasema, hey, hapana, hii sitamu expose sana, because you cannot. So for me, I think it's knowing where, like for example, kuna wakati nilikuwa nachukua loan kwa hizo
Mobile
mitandao.
apps.
Exactly. And ikafika mahali kauza, is this necessary? Wacha nikufe. Kama nikukufa, because unaulizwa vitu nyeti sana. You know, and you're like, no, this is not. So if you feel like your security is not guaranteed, I think it's better. And so sad we are not talking about this. I think kuna mtu wa ICT somewhere, anaitwa Moshero, anakuwa in charge of.
Yes, ICT.
I think those are some of the things, as we are pushing mambo na internet and whatnot,
Yeah.
we should push also the skill. Because as you said, una scrolling juu na inakuwa galefu, agree. Unaenda kwa app.
Yeah.
There's also something, another nini about security. Unaenda kwa ile mitandao yetu. Ya mitandao yetu. Sasa kuna hiyo, unajua ni tuende accept, I'm over 18. Unaona hii? Someone wants to chat with you. So I think it's a huge, and it cuts across from loan, from watu wa nini. So I think it's a discussion that we need to have about cyber security and the do's and don'ts, because this is a new space we found ourselves. Like for example,
You know,
Yeah,
if
we
I can
absolutely-
add, do you guys get upset when you go to a place, you buy ice cream or food, and you use your M-Pesa, then they start sending you marketing messages?
Yes, I receive that every
It's so
every week.
annoying. Is that legal? It should be legal.
This is
Well,
that's
I
one
mean-
of the things that was made illegal in the United States because telemarketers used to do that. Wacha
so
hata hiyo,
annoying.
hizi vitabu zenye unaenda kwa security unajaza phone number.
Yeah.
Kuna wakati wa election unapata Simon Kingaru Maina wa kutoka Roiro MP, unashindwa mlipataje namba yangu?
Yes.
You know, so ideally what we lack is intentional government policies, like enforcement of intentional policies,
Right.
because we want to trust a company like Google when I have my Android phone, like they will make sure that my privacy is
Yeah.
secure. But
right.
what's our government doing about it?
You're absolutely right. And we do have so many young kids who are on the internet saying that they are 18, not even sure what they're exposing themselves to, that parents don't know. Well, we could go on and on and on. We should probably do a whole other show just about this online.
Let's call it
TTTT
apparently
extended.
parents.
and then we put it online.
Apparently
Parents,
parents.
yeah.
Oh gosh. Apparently parents. All right. So now this is. I feel like we have a lot of stories from Tarakanisi. Most of them are
Yes.
usually very shocking. Now this man, Mr. John Munene, he's in hot soup for cooking his dog. No pun intended. In his defense, he claimed that he was hungry. Had been starving for about 3 days. He got tired of begging and knocking on doors, and he said he thought what else to do than cook his dog.
Why is he being arrested for being
Actually,
hungry?
the Haji actually said that he should be released, and the police officers who released him should actually make sure he gets good food to be able to eat. Because again, I will also ask, why was he initially being arrested?
Yeah, he's
Watu
hungry.
wamekula umbwa, watu
He's
hula
hungry.
umbwa.
Hata sio
Cruelty,
umbwa.
and animal
Tuna-
cruelty.
Hata si umbwa, ng'ombe si tunakuranga.
that's-
See you animal cruelty basi kwa ng'ombe, animal
because-
cruelty pia kwa nini? Kwa sungura.
Because what I
Guys,
think,
eat rats. It's called something zoga in the coast. So what's up with the dog? What's
Si
up
Larry
with it?
Madowo juzi alikuwa anakula panya kwa barabara.
Zoga or something
but I
like that.
think I think vitu zingine seriously tunawekaga energy mahali hakuhitajiki.
Exactly.
Because you see, I kill a goko. I kill a chicken, and that's not cruelty. This guy was hungry for he. Do you know what it means to eat a dog? It's not even like a cow. A dog is something inakuwaga nawe hapa na hapa. Kabla uigeukie uipatie kisu. That guy is going through a lot. He should be helped na apatiwe chakula. Shame on them. Mahali acha nisiendelee. Ningesema mahali wanafaa waende wapeleke hiyo energy. Ningesema
Exactly. They can redirect their
Well, I
energy
mean,
somewhere else.
Okay, but here in Kenya, there is a fine, I think, not exceeding 2,000 or.
Imagine
see,
waiting
when
dogs
they-
and cats.
They do
Stay-
say
But
animal
guys are
cruelty.
starving.
Which animals are in that category of being cruelized then? If I could ask.
nyama huko na huko watu wanagawana Kenya.
Yay, okay. Let's just move on to something a little softer. Hawa tu wananiangalia mimi vibaya. Now, there was this guy, he just decided, you know what, if it's your time, it is your time, and you take and you shoot your shot. So he decided to take a selfie. See, the only issue is this reporter was live on TV doing her work. Just take a look at this. This reporter, just take a look. Oh my gosh. You know, people try. There are so many things that I see. Macho.
Keep it natural, Amina. Keep it natural.
So pretty. Go away. Go. Okay, wait, but that's a really nice camera though. Let's just take it again for real though. But we could just also.
Sasa shida tu simu ni kama hiyo iko hapo onea.
But why people do things like that? Have you seen
Zote
that?
zingekuwa original.
Even here in Kenya, when guys are just reporting and you see people at the back like
Waving and saying, you know, I think
types
it's
of
just the
things.
thrill of the camera.
litandikwa.
What was his name? Mommy brain.
In Oro
Hassan.
TV, yes.
Hassan, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kwenda huko. Nini
Nitakupiga.
nafanya. Sometimes, you know, we just have bad
No,
manners.
but people
I
actually,
think it's
I've
just
seen another guy just slap someone who just came to talk like that, and then
Yeah.
he's just like, pa,
Yeah.
continued with his, you know,
Yeah.
like earlier today when two people decided that they were going to, and it just went on and on and on. But you know,
County ne Kiambu. Remember that one?
Yes, that's the one we're
Good
talking
one.
about in Oro TV. Yes.
listen, so, pesa, pesa.
Pesha,
Ili-
omuam,
ibiwa.
dinero.
Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao.
To the biggest story this week. You know, I feel like sometimes the things just are in the news. Blockbuster, movie, like, not to
Guys
get
do
ideas.
stuff so we can talk about
You
it.
know, you just watch
These
the
are the
news.
ideas we need drones for.
Yeah, yeah. Suna Johnny ilitoka huko, by the way.
Yes.
It's true news.
Yes.
All right, so now this story was big. Now, yesterday morning, thieves masquerading as police officers stole 72 million from Standard Chartered Bank here in Nairobi West. Oh my God. Police sources have told the nation, anyway, told the nation that part of the cash was stolen as G4S employees transported it in a van while the rest was withdrawn from an ATM. I like how I'm just looking at Mato. Now, how the story goes is that G4S personnel collected money from their headquarters and were taking it to Standard Chartered here in Nairobi West or in the branch. And they went on and did what they did. And it was like a movie.
This for me was the best part.
It was-
This for
it
me was the best part. They went, found cop uniforms, probably ammunition, I don't know if it was real or not. Wakaenda pamoja, probably wakipiga story, wakiwa wamebeba pesa, wakafika. So una imagine, they did not decide to take that money. They don't want to take just that
That's
money. They got to the ATM, the PIN codes were requested, and then the ATM was opened, and then they took the rest of, like they were on a mission.
It
What
was
was that kind
orchestrated.
of weird, like Mission Impossible?
Not
Ya
impossible.
kweli.
But you see, this
Like,
this
Indiana
will be the
Jones.
impossible bit.
Right.
They stole 72 million shillings. Hopefully, it is old currency. It is new currency, not old currency. Because in the next 3 weeks, they'd have to spend
They have to spend it.
132,000 a week. No,
Yeah.
an hour. 132,000 shillings an hour without sleeping for them to finish that money.
This is the thing. We're all, you know, the cops who escort the G4S guys, they're in shifts, yeah? So we know, tunakwanga na Peter and Paul, tunakwanga na, you know, Kabau na Njoroge. No pun intended. So, guys knew that there's a shift and these cops are coming. How is it that the cops who are meant to be there are suddenly not present and then the thieves appeared? Where were they?
How? Have you ever even tried to, as you're driving on the road?
Yes.
And those cars, you try to
Unaingia
just
katikati ya
overtake.
one of the two.
Yes.
Where? Just for you now to be at the, we disappeared. How?
So there are guys who are on duty because I'm assuming there's a rota. They know it is this and this guy who's going to come in. How is it that they were absent and new people came? They were unaware, and suddenly these new people are robbers. Where were the original cops?
I think we never know when people
All
are
right, Timo,
pretending
time.
to be nice.
Unfortunately, my director is.
My director? Okay, my director is saying okay. So I think it's, but I think we don't know fake. People pretend to be, we have people in power who they pretended to be otherwise. So how did they end up there? So I think it's the same story.
Yeah.
And also I hope it's 72 million that was stolen, because if it were 32 to the power of 2, sasa huko watu wanapigana sana.
There were cops who were meant to be there. If these were fake cops, where were the real ones?
All right. I'm just trying to end the show, guys. I'm just like, at this point. No, but for real, you're like, and then they want us to not believe it was an
Yes,
inside.
it
Like,
was an
who writes
inside
these?
job.
Like,
But-
when they were sitting down coming up with this story, Anyway, it's okay. So now what you need to do is, if you want to watch movies such as these ones, just subscribe to DSTV. They have so many. You could watch this entire weekend. I even saw they have Ocean's 8, I think. Or you just need to go and watch, or they have them. Just go and watch all of them. If you're into reality shows, you can watch a ton of them. Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, all the Chicago programs are there. Grey's Anatomy. There's a ton that you can enjoy. Sports, local shows, and a whole lot of that only on DSTV. Thank you so much for watching. We're back at 10 p.m. with Conscience. Just Conscience. Okay, everyone else is going to be there, but